हमारे YouTube चैनल गॉडलीवुड स्टूडियो को सब्सक्राइब करें और साथ ही हर नए वीडियो के अपडेट के लिए बेल आइकन को क्लिक करें।
No matter what, I'm feeling great.
Om Shanti and welcome to Light of Knowledge. Never before in the history of the world has there been so much of peacelessness around us. It seems like getting angry or getting irritated has become the new normal. And we have pretty good reasons why we should be. But the important question to ask ourselves is it really worth it? You know, they say that anger and irritation is like the rust in life. It takes away its power and it weakens its brightness. Let's discover this and more in our conversation with Sister Shreya from the Brahma Kumaris. Welcome to the show, Sister.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
You know, Sister, in our last episode, we discussed a couple of things in terms of our response to a stressful situation, how it could be an external situation and how we need to make a choice in terms of what our thoughts are. We need to accept the situation and tap in that inner peace and remain calm and stable in that situation.
Yes.
And in keeping with that, Sister, you know, sometimes we also spoke about the fact that at the workplace, it's very easy to, you know, look at how can work get done quickly when I just lose my temper, when I just speak a little bit harshly. It seems almost that, you know, this is a tried and tested method and it really gives you results.
Yes.
As opposed to maybe looking at, you know, being nice and speaking sweetly and maintaining good relations. So what are your views about it, Sister?
I think there's this myth where you feel that if you do things peacefully or with stability, you'll become slow. Because that's what you said, you know, when you were sharing, you were saying that you want to do it quickly. And you think that if you want to do it quickly, you have to use a method of getting angry.
Yeah, as in to get it done, you know?
Yeah, so to get it done, there are two methods. There are always two options to get it done. See, sometimes peace, when we think about peace, it's not becoming slow. It's not becoming slow. It's not doing anything. It is just that this is not running fast. You know, sometimes we're doing an action and at the same time the mind, the chattering is going very fast. Now this fast which goes here, the speed of the thoughts which is very fast, it actually reduces our efficiency. If I go after the team saying you need to hurry it up, you need to finish it fast, you need to do it, not performing. So I think I'm motivating them. But in a way I'm putting pressure on them. And that speed of thought, if it increases to a very big extent, it can reduce my efficiency.
But many people think, Sister, that, you know, if a boss is very peaceful, he may not be able to get things done because when things are very peaceful, it seems like nothing is happening, nothing is moving. You know, everybody's so calm.
Yeah.
And it's a little frightening at that moment, especially when you're in a high pressure job.
Exactly, that's what I said. It's not that we're not doing anything. It's just like if you have to catch a train, just imagine a scene, you have to catch a train and you're getting late. So, you know, somebody, when you say, oh, be peaceful, so you kind of imagine a scene, oh, somebody walking very slowly, moving towards the station, moving towards the train. No, that's not what we mean. That's very frightening.
Okay.
That's very frightening. You have a train to catch and you're getting late. You're supposed to run. So, see, you're running, you're going fast, you're doing it. If there's somebody you see, somebody you recognize, you won't stop to meet, you won't stop to talk to them, you will run. And at the same time, sometimes this starts running, the mind, the thoughts. And then you see in that running the chances of an accident. So the accident is happening not when you are running physically, When you're doing things fast, that's not when an accident is happening. The accident is happening when the mental chatter is very fast. And normally when it's very fast, it's negative.
Okay.
When it's very fast, it's negative. When it's positive, it's kind of very slow. You know, it's the peace that we're talking about. It's the gap between the two thoughts.
Okay.
I create one thought and there's another thought, and the gap between two thoughts is peace.
It's peace.
Yeah.
So is that true also with two negative thoughts? When you're creating one negative thought and another negative
There's
thought?
no gap.
It's just back to back.
It's just back to back. So you create a lot of stress and you create a lot of anxiety, and you think you're doing things, but in fact you're kind of messing up a lot of things, and then you get more upset, more irritated, the creativity comes down. So it's more important, like what we're saying, you can feel good and do things. There's a myth again which says, no, when you do things, you feel good. So if you see sometimes you're on a project or something for 6 months, and you can see, the family can see you doing that project, it's an important project, you have to meet a target, you have to meet a deadline. But the way you do it, you know it from the face that they're very tired, they're very stressful, and you snap very quickly, you get irritated very well. You can see, you can sense the pressure. Because all the time, even if you're not doing it, you're kind of thinking about it. You can't stop thinking about it. You come back home, even in your, at the place at home with your family, when you go off to sleep, you're kind of thinking about it constantly. So it's more like overthinking. And that kind of makes you very irritated. You snap quickly, and the day you finish the project,
there's a huge sigh of relief finally.
There's a huge sigh of relief. But then just to think about it, so how many times are you going to have the sigh of relief? Just twice a year or 4 times a year?
I think only when I have that sigh of relief, I feel peaceful. That's at the end of the project. And 6 months is terrible. It's a lot of stress.
It's a lot of stress. And the stress comes out at the workplace and the stress comes out at home.
So you're saying those 6 months, when I'm doing the project, I can physically run fast or maybe do things quickly and be peaceful.
Yeah, you can. It's just a choice, and that's what we're exactly supposed to do, because it's a journey.
But can peace actually create efficiency?
You have to ask from your experience that when do you work well? When you are calm, stable, or when you're angry? I mean, it's something that they say that you make maximum wrong decisions when you're angry, and they would also ask you to delay taking a decision when you're angry, because when you take a decision when you're angry, you end up taking a wrong decision, you're saying nasty things. So even if you're getting angry, in the sense the thoughts have come to your mind, it's good not to say to the other person, because when you've already created, you're experiencing that hurt. And when you're experiencing that hurt, you send that negative energy to the other person, silently or anyway sending it to them. But at least you cannot be vocal about it. You can save yourself from that. So they kind of say sometimes that you can delay it. It saves you from some trouble.
It's interesting that you say that, because actually if you look at certain kinds of industry, especially sales-oriented work or large media houses where you have a deliverable the next day, and unless you snap or you scream or you throw a temper, your team is not going to rush and complete that kind of job. And you really can't expect people, when you have a deliverable the next morning, to say, I'm going to operate in peace because it's going to bring out my efficiency and creativity. Maybe there's no time for peace.
Yeah, what you're saying is right. But then see what happens, when we're at a position and we use anger as a tool, so we can get things done from other people, because we're in that authoritative position and their jobs depend on us. So we use that mechanism to get things done. And that person for the first time will do it. So all you have to do the first time is, even if you say things like twice peacefully and it's not done, so you get angry and you scream at them and you see it happening. And there's that kind of programming in your mind, oh, this is an easy way. All I have to do is get angry and it gets it done. But you will realize the next time to do the same thing, you will have to scream a little bit more.
Why?
Because the same amount of energy, the anger that you used initially will not work on them.
They're immune to it.
They get immune to it after some period. You know, because you're sending negative energy and they create fear and they do it. But when they're creating fear, they don't like you.
Yeah, so you're saying, oh, this boss is anyways going to shout.
Yeah.
It's anyways going to scream.
And more than, see, if I don't like you, then I will do something to, I won't be very cooperative.
Yeah.
My job depends on that, so I will do things, but I won't do it with my heart. I won't do it with full creativity and won't put in the effort. You see, a lot of times when there's a very good relationship and you're supposed to work 6 hours, but there's an important project or something, you're ready to work 8 hours and 10 hours. More like how the mother would do for the child. Does she ever count hours?
No, it's purely relationship driven.
See?
Never time.
It's so beautiful, you know. The mother never looks at the hours. She will come back from work. She's very tired and she finds the child is not well. And even if she has to sit all night to take care of the child and go back to work again, it's never counting the hours.
Yeah, not with the child at least.
Not with the child. It's such a giving attitude. But why? It's just two beings even there. You know, if you come to see of it, it's a mother and it's a child. It's two souls. It's a beautiful relationship. And the exchange of energy is so beautiful because the mother is only giving in this relationship.
It's a very different equation, sister, because it's a mother-child. Now, boss-subordinate. You know, it's a different equation entirely. You know, you may not really feel that kind of connect with your boss. You may not really want to be in a situation where you're giving all the time.
But that's what we have to realize, that even in workplace, until and unless we have good relationships, it's difficult to sustain yourself for such a long time. See, what happens is not just doing, but you're receiving a lot of energy from the people that you're working. And if you can give at home to the child, you can also give here. But you don't want to give here. The reason is because the energy that you receive from the other person is very negative.
So you're capable of giving.
You are capable of giving, yes.
But again, it's a choice that you make. I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's not that you can't do it. It's not like it's different at home and it's different at work. It's just a realization, if I can do it here, I can do it here also. But because I have a boss who screams, who gets angry, and then what will happen is you get angry and you get work done. Tomorrow you have to scream a little more. Then the other time you have to scream a little more. And then whatever you're saying falls to deaf ears. You know, you've seen that?
Actually, because that happens a lot in parent-child relationships after a while. You know, especially parents who bring up their children screaming at them, shouting at them with the whole intent to discipline them. Once they're teenagers, they just turn a deaf ear to, you know, their parents.
And why as a teenager, not as a child? Because as a child, they're more scared, dependent. Again, the fear thing. So they're more submissive because they're dependent on the parents.
Yeah.
So even though in that period they're doing things, yeah, you're very right. You know, when the child is small, actually when the child is very small, they do everything the parents want them to do. They're more like the carbon copy because they have no other influence. So whatever you tell them to do, they kind of just do it. But the moment they grow up, there's a lot more influence of the environment, of the friends, of the education, of the society. So they're growing as an individual. So they start making different choices. They want to do something that may not be right for the parent. And there the parent uses again this mechanism of getting angry, you know, because you think if you get angry, you will get it done. And it happens, you know, you get angry and the child is in a state of fear and will not do it. Just get angry about saying, oh, you can't watch this, or you can't meet this friend, or you can't wear something like this, and they will drop it. So they will drop it, but inside they still want to do it.
But then, you know, sister, I mean, the intent of the parent is to discipline the child. And I can, you know, speak a lot because I'm a mother myself, that, you know, when I have a young child and she'll do a lot of mischief. For example, she'll just open the bottle of water, turn it upside down, you know, take a crayon and scribble on the wall, you know, empty a box of nuts, and she'll do it all with a smile. And here I'm trying to, you know, remain in this state of peace that you that you are teaching me. And it's so difficult because, you know, the neighbor can get the same discipline done without, you know, without taking this extremely long cut that I try to take, trying to be peaceful. And they often look at me and they say, you know, you can't control your daughter, you can't discipline your daughter, you're not a very good mother. And it's tough because then the other option I have is maybe to just to hit her and to get her to obey me.
Yeah, so just look at the scenario when you're saying, your daughter wants to put crayons on the walls and you want to get angry on her because you think that putting crayons on the wall is...
It's not right. I mean, it's messy. The paint is expensive.
And what does the child thinks?
Child thinks it's a new work of art.
It's new work of art. Yeah, it's fun. It's game. See, the child does not even realize what the child is doing is wrong. Just come to the child's shoes. For him, painting the walls, it's being creative. It's game, it's fun, it's something new, it gets attention from the parents. The child does not realize it's wrong for him, for the child. Anybody, girl, boy, they think it's very, very natural. You get a color and you want to paint everything. You want to paint your mother's hand. You want to paint everything. It's just fun for them. And I understand that you want to discipline your child. But to use the method of anger will only create fear and they will not do it. But do they really understand that it is wrong?
So they'll be afraid of you.
They'll be afraid of you.
They won't do it. Okay, they won't do it. And
you will look like a very good mother, at least.
I will look like a good mother, and I'll discipline them.
Yeah.
So isn't that the right thing to do?
Are they disciplined? Not doing something out of fear is discipline.
No, I didn't think of it.
A discipline is something which you want to follow. Of course, all the disciplines are made to help you grow, to empower, so that you do right things. But when you're not doing something out of fear, and we can create a lot of fear, your parents can say, oh, I'll lock you in the room, I'll lock you in the bathroom, and there's all darkness and this and that. Child actually knows no fear. The moment you kind of say all these things to the child, it's very subtle, but they start creating fear. And when you start creating fear, you become weak. You don't even realize, but you're making your child weak. You're disempowering your child very, very subtly.
But how, sister? Because a child is not drawing on the wall or not, breaking your favorite vase and not doing all of that mischief. It has stopped that behavior, right? And it won't do that behavior again in the future.
So the work is done.
So you stop the mischief, no?
Yes, the mischief is stopped.
Yeah.
The work is done.
Yeah.
What you want is achieved.
Yeah.
The child has created fear.
Okay.
See, the method, the intention is pure to discipline the child. Work is also done, not mischief anymore.
Yeah.
But inside, the child has not understood why my mother is asking me not to color this. And you can see the face and you can see the feeling, and it's all fear and everything. So in the relationship, that's the first dent. A very subtle dent. See, the dent is like, even because the child is small, but it's still a being. It's an energy. It's a thinking being. So somewhere a thought crosses, they don't understand me. Or probably maybe more subtle, they don't like me. Or even more subtle, they're not allowing me to do what I want to do. It's more like you can't understand your child and you think it's okay, it's not such a big deal.
Yeah.
There are other methods where you can still discipline them and not have that dent.
The other method doesn't seem to be very effective, right? If I have to, tell her, don't color on the wall, she's going to smile at me and color again. And I'll tell her again patiently, don't color on the wall. And then she does it again. And then, finally I find myself being peaceful in a very stern way. Don't color on the wall. And
which is fine. Which you realize is fine. 2 things you yourself said was very nice. First is patience. Why we don't want to use this method is because it requires a lot of patience. It's very easy to get angry on the child and get work done. One of the reasons we're getting angry is because it's getting work done quickly. And patience is very difficult because it's a virtue that I need to inculcate. And patience is that, no matter what they're doing, I'm stable, I'm peaceful, I'm not getting upset and angry. So there's a lot of work here. As a child, if you were a child and you painted on the walls, what would you expect your mother?
Okay, this sounds funny, but I would really expect my parents to applause and say, wow, this is like Picasso's work or something. I would really look at it that way. But it gets me thinking what you're saying, that the virtue of patience probably is lacking in me.
In you.
And I'm trying to use fear to get them to change rather than, imbibe patience.
And sometimes we don't even try. But when we do it patiently, we'll have to tell them once not to do it. And something before you just said, they do it and they smile.
Yeah.
So when they do it and they smile, they don't know it's wrong. Because if you really know it's wrong, you get into guilt or you kind of experience fear. But if you do something and you smile, then you probably think you've just done something wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you realize, like the work of Picasso?
You don't really think that it's something
You
wrong.
don't. As a child in that age, maybe 1 year, 2 years, it's not wrong for you. For you, it's just fun. It's fun. And you would probably want your parents to participate painting on the walls.
Yeah.
You have all these ads where you can get these things and scrub it. The only reason is because the child, want you to participate in the whole event. Of course, you understand that it's not right and it's expensive, but that's where the patience come. Now, sometimes again, we can go up to the child and say, oh, you're not supposed to do this. But internally, we've already created anger.
Yeah, internally you're already annoyed.
Internally, you're already annoyed.
You are.
Then if you're already annoyed internally and then you go up to the child, it will not work. It will not work because the energy that is already going to the child is of annoyance. And the words that you're using may be like, you're trying to be calm.
Yeah.
But you've already created the annoyance inside. So the energy is going to reach the child. And they will again experience fear or whatever, feel a little low. Or sometimes children get angry, Today children are also, it kind of gets into two things. You either become very fearful or you become very rebellious. You can become very rebellious, maybe not at that age, but the moment you come into your teenage, you're going to become very rebellious, and then you're not fearful. So you want to do all that will make you unhappy.
Yeah, and you see a lot of teens do that now.
You see a lot of teens do that. But the other side, like when you said you get angry and immediately the things happen, but when you're patient, they may not happen immediately. So you say it once, you say it twice, you say it again. And when you're being patient, you're sending that very beautiful energy of love to the child. I really love you, I trust you, I understand you want to paint at the wall. That's the energy that goes to the child. And you're building that relationship very subtly. And the child is then bound by that energy of love and they want to listen to you.
Don't you think the child will take you for granted and, oh, my mom is just going to tell me this very sweetly another 10, 20 times?
No, when somebody really loves you and accepts you and trusts you, you don't want to take them for granted. At least not a child. Maybe with adults we can see how it goes about, but not with a child. Child, when they receive love, they want to give back love. If they realize that this is what my mother wants, but it has to be with love, it's not to be done with annoyance. See, in anger what happens, you get angry once and you get things done. And then after a period of time, you can keep getting angry and nothing. People will not listen to you. In this, it's opposite. In this, when you're patient, it takes longer. So today, it may take like an hour to explain something. But then gradually, when you keep using this method, the relationship is so strong, sister, that you don't even have to say anything. You just look at them and they know that this is not what you want and they will not do it. They don't want to upset you. They have that kind of respect for you, but this is maybe what you call a long cut. You build relationship first and you get things done later. There you get things done and you ruin the relationship.
I'm also thinking about the kind of, children or adults you create by using the shortcut versus the long cut, over a long period of time, fear and more fear. And you have a very fearful adult. And love, acceptance, patience, like you spoke about. And
very joyful. They grow up being very joyful.
Have a very complete adult.
Different personality with very high self-respect.
I'd like to maybe, look at my own internal programming and self-talk. So is it possible if we do a short meditation on this?
Sure. Sit comfortably. Take a moment. Come into the realization that my methods have a lot of influence on the people around me. I may use anger. The energy that I send out damages people around me just to get work done. I'm damaging my own child. So in this moment, I choose that I will try a different method. I still want to get things done, but I will do them peacefully. I will be patient. Try to understand others' point of view. Respect them. Understand them. And send them the energy that will empower them. I'm responsible for my well-being and also their well-being. So with this awareness, from today onwards, I will play my role with more peace. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
So today I take away something very beautiful. The fact that I have a choice to either take the shortcut or the long cut. The shortcut is one where I can use a lot of anger and get things done through my subordinates, or use fear and get things done through my child. But the long cut is one where I empower my child, empower my team members, and create great working relationships. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. We look forward to having you again with us. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, do feel free to reach out to us or write to us. Thank you for watching and take care.
हमारे YouTube चैनल गॉडलीवुड स्टूडियो को सब्सक्राइब करें और साथ ही हर नए वीडियो के अपडेट के लिए बेल आइकन को क्लिक करें।